Well, I'm starting to think about the drawer fronts, and for those of you who watched me make this piece before, the drawer fronts are probably the most complicated or difficult part of the woodworking that there is, and that's why it's called a curved block front dressing table or lowboy. This is a practice one made out of maple, and there's the curve, and you've got your blocking on the front of the drawer, and this lip that's on the back here is probably the most difficult piece to make, because it should fit on that curve of the drawer blade, just so. So you want it as, close as possible, if not flush up against there. And so that has to be carved. At least I haven't been able to figure out another way of doing it to get it close. So here's the instructions I've located from the last time I did this. And I decided to make a new template. And this hogs out the bulk of the material from the top of the, this is a 1/4 inch recess here, so it takes it all out except for about 1/16 of an inch, I think, all along here, and then that allows me to carve the last part off and make it fit. So we practiced on that, and so here we have some 8/4 cherry stock. Let's zoom out here on one large cherry board here. And we want some really good figure and color. So I'm going to plane this off. This is about 12 inches wide. And so I'll use my hand plane and look for some very interesting grain and find it. I need about, well, they're 8.5 inch drawers, so there's 3 across, and we want them all out of the same board so that when we look at the 6 drawer fronts, they look continuous across there as well as interesting. So I'm going to take a hand plane here and hand plane it a little bit so that I can see the grain, and then select a section. And then this is 2 inches thick. We need 1 3/4 inches, so that'll have to be milled down. Well, after a bit of hand planing here, just finishing up, and I think you can see the grain of this piece. It's beautiful. So I need 2 4-inch pieces, which will take up about this much of the board. As you can see, this is about 3 feet, and I only need like 26, 27 inches of it, so I can position it. It's got quite a bit of twist in it over here, so I'll probably take it off there to reduce the amount of twist that we've got right on the end, so it'll make it easier to square up. But looks like a lovely grain in figured cherry, that's for sure. So I milled that cherry board that you saw me hand planing there before, and picked out the best grain that I thought looked most interesting, and I cut it into the 8 5/8 inch by 4 inch and numbered them 1 through 6. So these 4 here will be convex, and these 2 in the center will be concave, so I'm going to work on the convex ones first. Well, I've cut out the 6 drawer fronts here, and what it allows me to do is to make sure that I've matched the grain to the apron, so we've got them all going the right direction, and all together it should make a nice set of fronts, drawer fronts. So they all have to be cleaned up, obviously, with the spoke shave and the card scraper, etc. I broke the bandsaw blade here, cutting the last one out, and I didn't have a new blade to put on there. I had an old one, and it was quite dull, but so you can see it burnt the cherry there pretty good, so I got to get a hold of another 1/4-inch saw blade. Well, I'm cleaning up the drawer fronts now after bandsawing them, and this is why I sharpened my spoke shave yesterday, because I knew I had a lot of work to do with it. So it's just a matter of following the curve. And then when I get 1/2 of it smooth, I just turn it around and do the other half. This side, it looks like I bandsawed it much better. So when I get it roughed in, then I can use the card scraper for the fine stuff, and ultimately there'll be some sandpapering, but I got 6 to do. Well, I've done the rough fitting of the drawer fronts here, and what you didn't see me do was clear out this material in here, which is roughed out with the saw, the table saw, as well as the sides to create the lip on the 2 sides, so that we want it to just fit in the opening, which it does. We don't want any slop from side to side or up and down for a nice tight fit. We'll do some close-up fitting later on when the drawers are made. But for now, what I've got to do is carve all along here to get it perfectly aligned to this edge, each of them, so that we've got good fits along the lips of the drawers. Well, I'm cleaning up the drawer fronts now. So you saw earlier how I used the table saw to create a lip here, and the routers to put the 1/4-inch round over on the edges, and then of course I cleaned up the fronts with the spoke shave and scraper. So all that remains now is to fit them to the drawer dividers that there are, and it's easier to take the material off than it is to put it on. So I've got a 1/16 of an inch here that I left, and this area is pretty rough down here where I'd used the template, a curved template, to route out the bulk of the stock. And there's a number of ways that I could use a small plane to come across here to clean up the edges. or you saw me using a chisel there. Mostly it's carving, and there's a line on here that I traced from the drawer blade, and that's what we wanted to fit with flush. And I think this is a little dull. Anyway, I'll carve this off and then go fit it to the drawer opening. So there you have it. All the drawer fronts are fitted to the openings. I'm reasonably satisfied with the way they're sitting right now. So the next step is to glue up the case. Well, there's the glue up of the case, and it's a fairly complex glue up, and someday I'll film it, me gluing up and running around like a fire drill. But essentially what I did was I glued the back panel to the two rear legs, so I had a back. Then I glued up the front, or assembled the front pieces by putting in the apron, then this piece, and then the two cross pieces. So I had a front and a back. So then I laid the back on the table and put glue into the sockets all in the back, and I put the sides in and all of the drawer runners and kickers in, so it's laying on its back with all this stuff sticking straight up in the air. Then I put glue in the sockets behind here, behind the front piece, and then put glue on the tenons all along the front. Then I picked up the front and wiggled and got it into the two sides, the 6 runners and the other side there, and then squished it together and then set it upright and started to clamp it all together. So using the hide glue, it's with its long open time, it obviously helps. I couldn't do it with another glue, I don't think.